Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, text number 46. Shritvaita Shraddhaya Vikshanam Achyuta Priya Cheshtitam Bhaved Bhaktir Bhagavati Yaya Syat Klesha Sankshayaya. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruva Maharaj and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and executes pure devotional service. By such activities, one can diminish the threefold miserable conditions of material life. Purport. Here the word Achyuta Priya is very significant. Dhruva Maharaj's character and reputation are great because he is very dear to Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord are pleasing to hear, hearing about his devotees who are very dear to Supreme Person is also pleasing and potent. If one simply reads over and over again about Dhruva Maharaj by hearing and reading this chapter, one can attain the highest perfection of life in any way he desires. Most importantly, he gets the chance to become a great devotee. To become a great devotee means to finish all miserable conditions of material life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So here, in this verse, the previous verse, we saw how hearing the narrations of Dhruva Maharaj can fulfill the desires of wealth, reputation, and increase reputation of life, duration of life. And he can get a heavenly planet. And it can counteract all the results of all sinful activities. In this connection, one may wonder why Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about fulfilling desires for wealth, reputation, duration of life, etc. Because this is a literature of pure bhakti. Yes, it is in fact a literature of pure bhakti. Bhagavatam gives out the message for pure bhakti, but you will see in the Bhagavatam several places these kinds of the results are given which are material. The reason is not because we should pursue them, it is because the devotees have to understand devotion service is so powerful that punya is not an issue at all. Because in this material world, everyone who wants to fulfill his desires according to the Vedic system has to perform pious activities, accumulate piety. Unless a person is very pious, he cannot have wealth, he cannot have freedom, he cannot have good reputation. All these things are not possible if one does not have pious credit to his life. This is something we have to accept and understand. Unlike the outside world, we accept that how somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is powerful, somebody is famous, etc. Perfectly as per the arrangement of the Lord, in terms He is seated in the heart of everyone and He sanctions everyone. According to one's own pious, sanctions the desires of the living entity according to one's strength of pious credit. This is, and this has to be very important. This has to be understood. We discussed last time also. We might have done so many pious things in our so many lives. They may be as punya bijas. If it is destined to fructify in this life, like you have a huge bag of seeds, and some seed is taken out and planted in this body to sprout in this life, then one may experience the fruits of those sprout become trees and fruits of all this wealth and all these things. So it is no accident that somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is powerful, somebody is not powerful. Now, how they use their wealth, how they use their power, everything, they create new seeds of karma. So if we understand this point, then next point we have to understand is that what is described here, that simply hearing the pastimes of a pure devotee, hearing the pastimes of Krishna, can bring into one's life unlimited pious credit, which reduces. With the pious credit, you get material desires fulfilled. With impious credit, you get suffering. With pious credit, you can counter the impious credit. Just like if you have money, you can clear your debts. So if you have enough punya, you can clear that. No doubt in this material world, in material terms, different activities have different currency value of pious and impious credit. But when it comes to this byproduct of serving the Lord, starting with Shravanam, with faith, one gets practically unlimited credit of piety. Not that the devotee wants to use it. One should understand the devotee who chants Hare Krishna and serving Srila Prabhupada is materially very powerful. But he does not want power for the sake of power. To the degree to which he wants to serve the Lord gives him power, gives him health, everything that is required for his service, he will provide. There is no doubt about it. And if he does not provide, it also means it is for the purpose of betterment of my bhakti, it may not be given. Some service may not be sanctioned by the Lord, etc. It's not a mechanical process. Devotion service is a very personal process. Because we are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are serving the spiritual master. So there is a personal reciprocation. As we all understand, when we surrender our life to Srila Prabhupada, we are no longer in charge of our karma. Our karma is in charge because we have contracted, we have surrendered to spiritual master that my life is for you. And then he will handle our life whichever way he wants best for my bhakti, for my devotion service. In this way, devotee does not have any material desire also to serve Krishna. I need this for serving Krishna, I need that for serving Krishna. Krishna already takes care. The devotee desires to serve. He desires to serve. As soon as he desires to serve, because automatically material energy itself will provide, because of his pious, A devotee is automatically a very pious person because he does not do any sinful activities. Impious credit comes by sinful activities. So that is the first thing that we need to observe in the last verse and the present verse. Another point that comes to my mind in this verse is how Shrutvaita Shraddhaya Abhikshanam. Abhikshanam means repeatedly. Shraddhaya means faith. Shrutva, hearing. Achyuta Priya, dear Achyuta. Cheshtitam, in activities of hearing. Bhavet, develops. Bhakti, devotion unto Bhagavati. So, the process is given here that we should repeat. How do we transform our mind, which is now full of taste for material katha? How do we transform? The secret is not hearing once, hearing twice, hearing thrice, hearing 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So a devotee learns, he knows a trick of how to change his mind from an old karmi mind to a mind that is very pleasing to the Lord in the heart. So when he hears first, only by hearing first from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, one gets to know what is the desirable kind of mind that he has to have. What kind of mind is desirable? Now my mind is like this. Now my mind is full of Kama Sankalpa, Kama Vasanas, memories of old enjoyment. Kama Sankalpa means what? All belief, pleasure beliefs. This gives me pleasure, that gives me pleasure. Very deeply we are convinced right from childhood. This is pleasurable, that is pleasurable. So, Kama Sankalpa means to think that material things, material situations, material bodies give pleasure to me. That Sankalpa is there, that belief is there. It is not how it is put into our mind sometime. So how this Kama Vasanas and Kama Sankalpa and entire Kama Bhavana, that means the desire for selfish, self-centered enjoyment, it is sitting in our mind. Belief is a mental structure, it is sitting in our mind. How it can go, the secret is given here. Repeatedly hear. Then repeatedly intellectually contemplate what you hear. You have to use your intelligence also, not for speculating, to understand what you hear. The extraordinary, loving nature of what you hear of the Lord and His devotees. So intellectually, repeat intellectually. Repeatedly hear to understand. Repeatedly, intellectually, one has to contemplate, intellectual contemplation or reflection. Repeatedly, intellectually, or repeatedly do intellectual reflection. RR. First RR is repeated reading. Second is what? Repeatedly reflect intellectually. Then third, again repeatedly reflect emotionally. So first you hear, then you get a deep understanding of it. Your intellect is involved. Then all the emotional contents in that connection with that Leela, that you contemplate. By repeatedly reflecting on the emotions. By then, the structure in the mind is changed. But still you can fall back to your old ways. So the fourth is what? Repeatedly apply that. That means repeatedly relate with your new conception and perception. What happens by these 4 steps of 4RR method is the old conceptions and perceptions. Perceptions come out of conception. The idea that we are all this body is a conception. Because I have this perception, I have this conception, I develop a perception that you are the body. I have the conception about my mother. So my perception about my mother will be motherly relationship, perception. So where do you get the conceptions? Conceptions you get from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. From the first point, Shravanam, repeatedly hear. Everything has to be seen through the eyes of the Shastra. Shastra Chakshush. It's a very scientific process how to transform our mind from a karmi mind to a devotee mind. How to transform my mind from a sense gratifier to a devotee who satisfies always Guru and Krishna. So our quality of devotional service, we may be all doing devotional service. Our quality of devotional service depends on the background, transcendental knowledge and detachment from matter. Because devotional service is transcendental. In our normal nomenclature, we say, oh, you're doing service, devotional service. Okay, it's for Krishna you're doing. But in devotional service, there is a quality. According to quality, the result is very fast. Ultimately, we are also working for a result. What is that? I should become completely free from bodily concept of life. I should become free from illusions. And I should understand that I am part and parcel of Krishna. I should understand, I should awaken my love for Krishna. This is the goal of our sadhana also. And we have got very powerful things that Prabhupada has given us. And the most powerful, we all know, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So those who chant 16 rounds, those who don't chant, those who don't worship the holy name, it is very difficult to change the mind by just applying this, repeated contemplation, all these things. Not possible. The energy has to come from Shravanam. The first step is the most powerful thing. So anyone who is worshipping by Shravanam of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Lord as a friend of the Nama Prabhu, as a friend of the devotee. Seated in the heart, he will bring about transformation, where devotee will get realization, Divya Gyan, Hre Prakashita, and then he sees that it is going away. Then he is repeatedly, he follows this process. Oh, Krishna gave me this realization, but it is going away. It is not staying in my mind. Why it will not stay in your mind? Because something else is competing. You got realization, immediately it got covered. So I have to take that now. Krishna is expecting me to repeatedly, to repeat the realization that he has given. Repeat the understanding he has given. That much I have to participate. To throw out garbage, I have to do something. Garbage in the depth of the heart, Krishna can, chanting of the holy name will bring it up. But when it comes up, that garbage, we have to throw it out. That is our job. That is part of our devotion service. Accept things favorable for devotion service and reject things which are unfavorable. A devotee is continuously practicing this principle of surrender. And more actively he practices this principle of surrender with respect to what rises from his subconscious into his conscious mind. Rapid progress will happen, and Krishna also will reciprocate. Okay, some old nonsense is sitting, I want you to throw it out on your own. Here I lift it up, brings it up. Then you are following the formula. Accept things favorable for devotion. Reject things. You reject. It goes away. When it surfaces up, kama vasanas, when they surface up, you embrace it, it goes back inside. When it surfaces, you apply surrender of Krishna by rejecting it. Then it is pleasing to Krishna. Then it goes away. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times. Again and again it will come because it's very deep. Each time you throw it away. Krishna wants to see, are you determined to throw it away? So one time if you throw, Krishna is not happy. Are you really serious? Again kama vasanas will come out, because there is no dearth of kama vasanas, because millions of lives we have those memories of material enjoyment. Let it sit there, as long as it doesn't disturb me. Anyway, subtle body only. When I go, I'll go back to God, I'll leave it behind and go. But it should not disturb me. So why Krishna is again and again bringing it up? Because it's an opportunity for us to practice devotional service. Just like our free will is contaminated. Practically you can say not contaminated, our free will is sleeping. A duplicate free will is acting now. Falsely I am thinking it is my free will. It is ahankara which is acting. If somebody has an accident and then he is bedridden and his limbs are all held in one position for a long time to cure the fracture, to heal the fracture, then after 6 months, you will see his hand, he cannot move. So what do? Physiotherapy. In physiotherapy, what they do? The physiotherapist will come. He will hold your hand, because you cannot lift. You hold your hand. He lift every day 10 times, 15 times, then he will increase 20 times, like that. In the same way, we have to do this free will therapy of accepting things favorable for Krishna and rejecting things which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness. If we do that, then our soul's devotional free will start getting activated. Then we become strong and strong devotee. No means no. Yes means yes. Yes, it pleases Krishna, I will do. It doesn't please Krishna, I will not do. It takes time. That is called sadhana bhakti, devotion service in practice. And then it will transform into spontaneous devotion service. So, this repeating, take this clue, repeating, because many times, many devotees, we all have this question. I understand Prabhu, but I am not able to follow. $1 million question everybody has got. I understand, but I cannot follow. I am finding it difficult to follow. Answer is here. What is it? Patiently repeat. I have a false conception, a wrong conception, and from that a wrong perception has come. Perception means how I see. Conception means what I understand about that subject. Then how I see outside, how I perceive the world. Perception is about how I perceive the world. So why I cannot follow? Because default perceptions. When you see a person, a default perception, or you see a situation, as a karmi, when you see the money, there is a perception for money. A devotee sees money, There is another perception. Why? Because behind that, a conception is there. From that conception, you have derived this perception. Both have understanding, money is power. Common perception. But there is one emotional content in that perception of devotee and different. It belongs to Krishna, it belongs to God, it's meant for God. Other person's perception is meant for my sense enjoyment. So why is it difficult, coming to answer this, why it is difficult to practice, why it is I am not able to follow? There is no shortcut. You have to repeatedly contemplate, repeatedly intellectualize. Shravanam, first hear, then repeatedly intellectually reflect. That is called mananam. I discovered one sloka from one Upanishad. How jnana bodha happens for a disciple. Shravanam, mananam, dhyanam. 3 things are mentioned. All are repetition. Repeat Shravanam, repeat Mananam, repeat Dhyanam, and the 4th one is what? Practice, Anushilanam. Shravanam, Mananam, Dhyanam, Anushilanam. You are a transformed person. You have to go through these processes. Consciously, unconsciously, if your mind has transformed into something, now you are a devotee because you have gone through this. In the association of devotees, though in a disciplined way you have not done it, that is why your perception about the world has changed. You have become a devotee. You heard, you intellectualized, then thought about it, then emotionalized it. Then you decided, I will practice, I will become a devotee. I don't want to do karma, I want to do devotion service. Conviction came. From conviction, you started feeling. So why not? Some specific problems are there. Take it, some specific kama vasanas or kama sankalpas are there, all false beliefs. Take it up. Perception. For instance, how you perceive people as bodies, how you perceive people as gender. Default. What is your default perception of people? And what is desired? Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. This is desired. This is a conception that is desired. All other conception that I have is all bogus. It has to change to default. If I have changed to default, then I have to understand all these 4 steps. Devotee is continuously active. Internally is very active. Very active internally. Internally is active for progressing in spiritual life. Externally is active in doing devotional service, practical preaching and all those things. In seva. Not that only doing external seva. A devotee should be rich in internal contemplation. He should be determined. I have to transform my mind. That is why reading is very essential. Any questions? Shravanam, Mananam, Dhyanam, Anushilanam. That is 4RR method.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, you told about this 4RR method, because we have to transform our mind from karmi mind to a devotee mind. And here comes our exercise of free will, where where Krishna will see whether he wants it or don't want. So I have to apply that much at least. I have to apply that much, this principle in my life. So that Shravanam is happening every day. Morning we are all hearing Bhagavatam class. And then rest
Shravanam
of the day...
doesn't mean just hearing like that.
Yes, hearing, yes.
Hearing with a purpose.
Yes. And yes, rest of the day what happens, Prabhu? Like a devotee, let's say it's a LLP preacher, he has to spend time for service 6 to 8 hours. Then he has to plan whom to meet, where to go. And or any devotee who is specifically has to put his mind in service. Then he comes back, he has to spend some time for washing, cleaning, rest also, eating. Mindfully we have to eat. Just like when we are doing chanting, so we are told don't think, just execute. So, or every activity we have to be mindfully active. So if somebody, let's say Bhakta is thinking about what all he has read, but if he is not active in his service, so he will get scolded from his trainer. You are absent-minded. So my point is, question is, should we have a separate time for Manan also, like we have a time for all sadhana? So this Mananam time...
I understand your question. Whether we should have separate time. There is lot of time in between. We all lose time. You understand? So, we should learn how to... Suppose you got into your car or auto rickshaw for preaching, right? Now you are given the address to the driver. What do you do from then till you reach? Your service is off, is only when you reach. Meet him, talk to him. What do you do? You should do these things. Anywhere you get a gap, you should apply this. It all depends on how you organize yourself. It has to be organized, if you want to organize. If you have a very deep wound, then ek jagah mein baith ke, you have to take special care of that wound. So similarly, some very deep contaminations are there. Then catch that, what is it? Guru Sadhu Shastra, conception, perception, a bada wound hai. Spend time for that. Otherwise, as it keeps, so many things, general, whatever you hear in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not that everything you have to do it in a very systematic way. Suppose you get a small wound, you just don't even put medicine, it will cure itself, isn't it? So it all depends. If something is very much disturbing your spiritual life, catch that and cure that. For that it may require special time. But to grasp the entire Krishna consciousness, reading time is there. What you read, you contemplate. In between. That's what in fact, if you, let's say, again go back to the example. You get into the car. You got 1 hour drive time. Engage in these things, not speculation. Engage in this to make it go into your subconscious. In fact, it will increase the purity of your service. You will see your results of your service. When too much if I think, then my result will get affected. No, these spiritual things will only increase your result. Miracles will happen. Because everything comes from consciousness. So you are doing this Krishna conscious Shravanam, Mananam, Dhyanam, and Anushilanam. It will have its own effect even in this service, not it will distract the service. And ultimately we have to understand that the holy name, the Lord in the heart is also there to guide us. Without doing all these things, without in a disciplined way applying these four things, you already become a devotee. These are things meant for accelerating. These are advanced things. You want to transform your mind from old nonsense conceptions of the past, conditioned default perception. For that, systematically take the bull by the horn. Because holy name is giving us all the power to transform. Any other question? Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.